What's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Thanks for joining in. So, let's get right into it. This is the weekly analysis segment that I do where I analyze the chart. Now, the thing about this week is that I think last week I may have overperformed because when I was going through the analysis from last week and looking at what happened this week, it was almost like as if I had a sneak peek into this week ahead from last week. So I would encourage that we maybe go back and look at last week's analysis because the overall picture was shared there so that I don't have to really repeat the whole thing. And it was quite a long video. But this week I just want to narrow down. I don't want to look at too many pairs. I want to just narrow down. I'll be looking at Euro USD and the Pound USD. Then I may just pick one more pair. But ensure you look at that video. I was amazed. I was blown away by my own self, and I really thank God for how far I've come in terms of understanding and knowledge of the market. So let's get right into it. So I'm on the Euro USD pair. So like I said, I'll get right into it. So I think this is the one I want to be looking at. Let me zoom out. Okay, yes, I think this is it. So on the weekly chart, we had a rise. If we're using here as the low and here as the high, I drew Fibonacci on it, and it has kind of been falling through the Fibonacci and reacting to the various levels. So if I bring this to the daily chart, we can see what is happening right now. So as you can see, in fact, what happened here is that I actually plotted two charts in the opposite direction. I don't want to confuse you guys about that, but what it means is this. The overall picture is that Euro USD is selling. But even though it's selling, I also still plotted a chart that takes note of if it's going to rise. So I plotted two of them on the same chart. So basically, like this level here now, this 38.2 is from the bigger picture. But this one here, this is the one here is from the smaller picture, just taking note of this rise and this pullback. So this 23.6 is for that fall down here. But this 50 you see here is for the bigger level. When you look at the monthly chart, let me just show you the monthly chart. So you just see what I'm talking about. I broke it down in the other video. So this is the monthly chart. You can see it's a decline all the way down here. But if you plot Fibonacci, you can see we have the 61 here, we have the 50 here, then that 38 I was talking about. So it's taking note that this is a pullback and it's coming down. But in the short term, in the short term level, this rise I now plotted for the rise, taking note of like support points where it can bounce up. So I understand the two of them. This is the chart I'm using. I understand the two of them. But it kind of puts both long-term and short-term in perspective in the picture, just kind of all together at once. I hope that kind of makes some sense to us. If you get it, please write in the comment section that you get it. I appreciate that to know that you're following what I'm saying. Okay, so Euro USD has been falling, and I identified that the trend is actually down, and even on the daily trend, there was a visible pattern of it, falling, up, down, up, down, up, down, which is really very important. Now that it got to the 61 level, it kind of formed a doji last week Friday, but it almost looks like the doji didn't hold last week because it fell through it, tried to pull up and fell right back down all the way, tried to pull up again, and on Friday still fell down. Well, all of this put together may just be struggling to turn around, and that is something I want to point out in this, because if we look at the weekly chart right now, we can see that on the weekly chart we have a doji already formed, and that means that the fall momentum is kind of now slowing down. That doesn't mean it's going to turn around any moment from now. It may not even turn around, it may still continue. However, it's a sign that the momentum has slowed down. When momentum slows down like that, sometimes you may have like a range for a while before, an offshoot. Sometimes you may just still have the offshoot straight up. But a doji doesn't always mean that the market is going to reverse. A typical example is here. Look at this. Um, we had doji here, the market reversed. But now, when the market started going up, up, this was a doji. Although this doji here, one could have said it was like a momentum doji and all of that. But you can see it almost looked as if it was a sign to turn around, but it also still went up. The same thing here, we had a doji. We had a little range before it broke out. Another doji, and it continued. The trend was continuous. So that's what I'm trying to say here. This doji on the weekly chart may signify that this coming week we may have maybe a little bit of range, meaning the market is not really breaking out. You get. At the same time, we may just have it go and touch the 38.2. Whatever case it does decide to do, one thing is clear. I advise that on Monday in the market that you patiently wait to see what it's going to do. That you just patiently wait to see what it's going to do. The bias for now is still towards sell. Of course, till further notice, still towards sell until a clear pattern has been broken. Now, on the daily chart, the sell structure has not been broken yet. It just looks as if it was broken, but it's not clear yet because a clearer structure of the top will be this place. Yeah, the market pulled up, but it did not break it. Instead, what happened was that it came to a zone of previous support and turned around and bounced back. So there's a good chance that, especially the fact that the price is going continually below this 61, there's a good chance that it may also continue downward. So my bias on Euro USD for now still remains bearish. Although for for my bearish move, I would have to be more cautious because the support for now, if I'm taking any bearish move, I may want to be using very tight stop losses. Maybe in this case now, I'm not sure I want to take any stop loss that is beyond Friday's high. I'm taking any sell on it. My stop will probably be Friday's high. You get any sell trade I'm taking on the Euro USD. Usually I will probably use that Friday's high, which is on this chart is 778. Okay, so that's for Euro USD. If you have more questions and thoughts, share it in the comment section. Now, going to Pound USD. On Pound USD, we had a little bit of a different scenario. So let me just go to the daily chart. Okay, the monthly chart is the same thing too. It's declining. This was like a pullback. It hit about, I think it got to the 61 points. Let me see the importance of this thing that I put there in short time first before I try to delete it. Okay, it's kind of important there. Okay, so I understand why I'm not deleting that. I'll come back to that. But on weekly, let's see. Okay, so it didn't quite hit the 61.8 level when it pulled back. It hit the 50 level, tried to get up to it. It failed and came back around the 50 level. So what we had last week was like it almost got or just about got to the 50 level, then turned around and started buying again. Most of last week, the days last week, most of them were buy. It was only Friday that was a sell. And on the euro US, on the pound USD, I can say it has kind of broken the sell structure in terms of this decline that was happening. It kind of clearly broke it for using this as the turnaround point. It kind of clearly broke it. So even though on daily we don't have a clear buy pattern, we just have buys, buys, buys. On H4, if we go down to H4, you will see we have a clear pattern, which is up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, kind of something like that. So what I am looking for is that on Monday, well, probably because it got to the 61 and fell right straight to the 38. I'm thinking that on Monday, it will probably pull back up to the 50 level or maybe just go higher, But for now, I think our stops should be this, at least the 23 or this place. Can use this as a stop. I think at least it will first rally. This is about 450. I think it will first rally at least back to around the 50 level, maybe higher, before we have maybe subsequent declines. Or it may decline all the way. But I am betting that on Monday we should have an opportunity to grab maybe about 40 pips first using this place as a stop loss. That's like a one-to-one trade, something like that. Okay, it's just about the same level. So what you're targeting to get is about what you're targeting to lose. And so it's not the best of trade. Maybe I'll skip that. Except maybe it drops a little bit with a tighter stop, then or I can still take that buy. But on smaller time from 4 hours, there's a clearer trend for a buy on it. And on daily, yes, it has broken the sell structure we're having here. Remember the overall trend before in this short term was actually buying, but the bigger time frame is selling. By using what's happening currently, we have had several days of buy, and can be considered as a pullback. To see a clear trend in terms of daily for the pound USD, we may need to wait for a while, in the sense that the way we clearly have a sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, well, even now that it has broken that kind of sell structure, we want to see something like that on daily time frame. It's not really reflecting on daily, but it's reflecting on 4 hours. So that means to really know the direction this week wants to give, we may need to be patient. But if you want to take a serious trade where you're putting a lot of loss signs, I don't know if this may be the best week to do that, because I think we're at an indecision point in the market right now. Unlike last week on Euro USD and Pound USD, where the trend was pretty much clear that it was selling. So even on these days, like on this day, on this day, on this day, if you are taking sell trades, even though it later ended as a buy, you would have still made profit. Even on these days, I sold on all these days and I still made profit for short-term sales that I took on all these days. So before it finally broke this level, and I said, okay, now everybody stop. The trend is no longer selling, so we're going to wait until we now get a new clear formation before we say, okay, this is the direction the market is going now. So those are my thoughts on pound USD. I try not to make the video so long, but going deep into an analysis like this, thoughts and what you should do, it usually takes some time. Maybe as a bonus, I hope I haven't spent so much time. I should just look at one more actionable pair that is on my mind. And this is this pair, the Euro and the USD JPY. The overall trend is bullish. Last week, more or less, was like a pullback, and it turned around on Friday and bought. Now, if you go to the 4 hours, this is what I'm also expecting to happen. So, in case you are looking to take such an opportunity, I hope that on Monday, maybe Tuesday, watch to see what happens. We have some kind of little pullback here. That will be your opportunity to take a buy. A little pullback here, then you take a buy. You can leave your stop loss around this zone, this 38.81, or maybe just use 38.60 as your stop loss. So probably you want it to pull down to maybe around 60 levels, so you have about 100 pips to use as your stop loss. You can adjust your lot size according to that difference. Then you are looking for a buy up into this zone, which is probably another 100 pips. Maybe by the time you're at break even, you can adjust your levels and use that to trail it going up, because the trend for this pair is buying strongly right now. It's buying really strongly. If you look at the higher time frame, it's just going up. You understand? Higher time frame is just basically going up. So we'll see how that works. So I'm thinking it may actually it may continue, it may keep buying, to be honest, because this trend looks really pretty strong, and it has all the way up to go, from this point, all the way up. So let's see how that plays. Of course, there's always a chance that it may further pull back before doing that, but I'm thinking that currently we may have um, a case of it buying in the coming week. Buying in the coming week. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, okay. I think I know what happened there. Okay, I guess I was looking at weekly because there's something I was expecting to see there and I wasn't seeing it. So I think, this hadn't loaded. Exactly. Yeah, so that's what I was expecting to see there. So if you look at the weekly chart there, you look at the weekly there, you can see it, because see what I was looking at. This rise hitting this level, I was expecting a pullback, and that was what I already mentioned in the previous week. So it has done that, pulled back a little. Yeah, it may still go further down, yes, but I want to believe that this coming week, even if we see a little more pullback, we should still have those pullbacks should be like opportunities for us to buy. So those are my thoughts for the market. If you have anything to add, write in the comment section below. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate. See you in the next video. Bye.